Good morning, students. Why only 23 students are there? What about the remaining students? Is why many are absent for yesterday's lab? Is why you people are not serious about Part B programs? See, students, Part B programs are very important in external exam. If you are executing only Part A, then don't think that you will pass. You have to execute Part B also. Yes, Part B also you have to execute, student. You please uh, have some seriousness about Part B program and start executing whatever the errors you are getting. Whenever I conduct a lab, you can share your screen and you can ask your doubts. And tomorrow afternoon after my class, anyway, I have class in the afternoon, and I'll extend my class. So instead of theory class, we can conduct a lab session only, so that I can complete fifth program. Okay, students. Please respond if you are see, if you don't respond, then I will not understand whether you people are understanding or not. Whatever the problem, whatever the difficulties you have, you speak out. No, if you don't speak, then how I'll understand? You students, tell me why you have not attended the lab. You had any important work than your class?
Yes, ma'am. Yesterday, ma'am, interview, ma'am, placement.
Placement,
Yes, ma'am.
placement was there yesterday.
Yes, ma'am.
Nobody informed me. At what time?
Ma'am, afternoon,
Afternoon, at what time? I saw you, you joined and again you left the meeting. At what time?
2 p.m., ma'am.
Nayana? Nayana is there? Nayana, Ajay, they are the placement coordinator now. It is their responsibility to inform to the faculties. Otherwise, how will conduct? How will come to know the whether you have placement or not? Which company? At what time, Amit?
ANZ, ma'am, 2
At
p.m.
what time?
11 to 2 p.m., ma'am.
Then after 2 o'clock, you would have attended, no?
Because ma'am, my result is waiting, and again, sir, second round will be started. Maybe I have not attended.
No, those who didn't attend second round, they could have attended. See, again, I'm telling this time definitely you don't think that last time how without conducting the exam, they have promoted you all the students to the next semester. This time it is not going to happen like that. Already you got this attendance also, timetable also you got. Drakshani ma'am, she has shared no timetable of exam. So this time you don't think that like previous semesters you are not going to have any exams. No students. Have some seriousness about your Part B programs. Part B first code I have already shared in the GCR. Once again, I'll share the code of all the 5 programs today. All the 4 programs code I'll share in the GCR so that you can practice. Yes, students, have some seriousness. Don't take so lightly your Part B programs. Repeatedly, I'm telling. Anyway, theory syllabus I have completed, and daily now we'll do revision. One day, from the beginning, all the topics will do revision, and will simultaneously will solve the question papers also. Previous year question papers. If you also have any previous question paper, you share with me so that we can discuss the questions in the previous year question papers. Yes. How many were eligible, Amit, for yesterday's placement?
Only me, ma'am, MCA.
Only you. And then what about the remaining students? You are telling you told placement, no? Then I thought it was for a whole class. I mean, many were eligible. Only you were eligible. Nidhi, Nidhi, can you hear me, Nidhi? Okay, students, if you don't respond, then it is your wish. My job is to explain, and whatever the doubts you have, I will clarify. Yesterday also, few of the students they have shared the screen, and I have clarified the doubts. If you if you are interested, only then I can help you. Otherwise, it is difficult. If you are not telling what problem you have, if you are not telling what errors, what difficulties you are facing, unless and until you tell me, then I cannot help you. Okay. Students, today what we'll do, we'll solve the question paper, or from the beginning, shall I do revision from the module 1? Yes? What you all want? Revision from first module or solving the question paper?
Discuss the only question paper, ma'am, in depth.
Question paper, hardly it will take 10-15 minutes now. If we discuss question paper.
Ma'am, module wise important questions
Module
if
wise
you
important questions. See, we all topics are important only. We cannot say, because if this time if I have set the question paper, then I may give one question. If the next time if some other faculty set the question paper, then they may give that question. So if you get a thorough knowledge in all the modules, and whatever the questions they ask, we you should be able to answer for all the questions. So better if we do module wise revision. Okay, your module wise important questions also we can discuss. Students, today I'll upload the code in the GCR, first program, second program, and third program. Third and four programs, I'll upload the code in the GCR. And tomorrow afternoon, I'll start fifth program. Okay? Yes, students, don't waste your time in designing the forms. Here, the queries are very important. Whatever the questions they have asked, and don't get confused. Yesterday few of the students have shared the screen, and they showed they were not getting the output for first program. Yes, when I was explaining in the regular lab also, I told here we are not using any button. We are, with the help of text box, we are executing the program. And along with the text box, we have a combo box also. That combo box is just for reference, because three in the text box, if I take 3, then in the combo box I can select engineer, because for the ID 3 the designation is engineer, for the ID 2 the designation is project leader, for the ID 1 the designation is project manager. It is a static table. It is given in the question only. In the question they have given this static table, students. I think all of you have the syllabus. Students, I am sharing the screen, so we'll start doing the revision module wise.
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಇದು ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ದು
Hmm.
ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋಸ್ ಲಿಂಕ್ಸ್ ಇದ್ರೆ ಹಂಗೆ ಸೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ.
ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ವಿಡಿಯೋ ಲಿಂಕ್ ನಾನ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದಾ?
ಹಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಲಿಂಕ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಏನ್? ಹಾ ಸರಿ, ಆಯ್ತು, ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. ವಾಟ್ಸಪ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ಲಾ?
ಹಾ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಸರಿ.
Ma'am, when we start the second lab internals?
Like I'm planning to conduct December last week,
December last week.
28, 29, 30, 31st. That week.
Okay. Ma'am, you are given the lab assignment. Which type the form will be used?
Which type?
You are given the lab assignment. Develop the website
Correct.
and three forms will be
I told
connected.
minimum three forms. You can create more than three forms also, but minimum three forms.
Yeah, yeah, but which type of form is created? Because, for example, contact form is also there, and any registrations form will be work.
See, contact form also you can include, but whatever the forms you are including, it should have some stuff. No, simply one contact form. If you create just address, phone number, if you give, then no use. No,
No, no, I am simply asking, send the query just like, okay, I send me perspective this type.
I didn't tell once again.
Contact from this type, ma'am. So send the query, okay, any problems will be and send query and response, okay, this type, ma'am.
Query. See, actually, query and response query should be there.
Yes, ma'am.
With simply, if you create welcome homepage, in homepage, if you just give welcome, and if you give one more page, contact us, just contact details, and the last page, the feedback of the college or feedback of the web page. If you just like that, if you just use simple web page, then it won't be having so much of stuff in that. So I prefer better you go with the queries.
Okay.
So that's why I told minimum three pages. Why? Because if I tell just create a website, then student may create only one web page and one web page, and that is also development of web page only. No, I cannot say that that is not a web page. If they are developing one page also, that is also web page. My assignment is development of website. Then I cannot I cannot say them, then you have created only one page. That's why I told minimum three forms it should have. If they include queries, then it is better. And for that, the last date is 28. Again, I'm repeating, when you come for your lab external exam, that time you have to run and show your lab assignment. Yes, students, this is first module. Yes, this is the first module, that is getting started with the .NET Framework 4.0 and C hash, understanding the previous technology, benefits of .NET Framework, architecture of .NET Framework, .NET Execution Engine, components of .NET Framework 4.0. The components are CLR, CTS, and CLS, and metadata, assembly, .NET Class Library, window form, ASP. See, this first module contains, till here, it contains introduction about the .NET framework, the architecture, the components, the library files, and the supporting about ASP.NET, Ajax, ADO.NET, and Window Presentation Foundation, Windows Communication Foundation, LINQ. This all about the introduction of .NET framework, and from here the introduction of C hash. So how we'll begin with C hash program, how we can start creating a console application. What are the namespaces? Here we have namespaces now. We have seen the list of namespaces in the data type, variable, constants, reference type, and type conversion, boxing and unboxing namespaces, and the arrays. This is first module. Yes, students, the important questions here is the uh, architecture of .NET Framework 4.0 and the components of CLR and CTS. Yes, students, here I cannot say this is only important question. Why? Because here in the introduction we have seen Windows Presentation Foundation and Windows Communication Foundation and Windows Workflow Foundation. The same the here we have learned just the introduction, but in the fourth module, but in the fourth in the fourth module, again we have learned this window presentation foundation, the programs also we have seen now, the how to insert columns, how to insert row. So that's why all the topics are important, and this here the concepts are not complex, the concepts are not difficult. It is not like that I am not able to understand. If you take example of cryptography and network security or advanced computer networks, there you may find some difficulty in understanding some of the concepts, but here all the concepts are very simple, and you are going to implement the cryptography. You just learn in the cryptography, but it is difficult to implement. But here whatever we are learning, we are going to implement. For example, ASP.NET, ADO.NET, window presentation foundation, Ajax controls, everything we are going to implement. So when we implement, then we'll get a clear idea. So here I cannot say these topics are important, students. All the topics are important. You understand all the modules. When you understand all the modules, then you whatever the questions they ask, then you will be able to answer. Okay, that's why I told module wise revision. If I do, then it will be better. Then the second module, classes, objects, and object oriented program. Yes, this how to create class, what is class, how to create object, what is nested class, and the partial class, partial method, and the struct keyword. These are all these you have already learned in C++ and Java. Encapsulation, polymorphism, runtime polymorphism, compile time polymorphism, interface, and the most important concept, abstract class and abstract method. These we have already learned. And module 3, it is all about here delegate is a new concept. Correct, now students? Delegate is a new concept, and exception handling, ADO.NET, we are learning it. We are learning as a new concept. And from fourth module, it is from fourth and fifth module. Many of the students, those who don't know, even the visual VB, for them it is a complete new topic, because here we are going to learn a how to develop a application. Yes, students, one thing I'll tell you, if you learn this Visual .NET programming language, if you learn this .NET programming, whatever you can the development of project will become very easy. Correct, no? See, in part B, whatever the programs you are doing, all it is like mini projects only. If I in project, what you do, students? In project, you develop a design, you design the forms, alva design form ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, and you create a web database. You create a database for the project, and you connect the front end with the back end, and you start executing the query. In mini project also you do the same thing. So in part B, all the programs are like the mini project only. Once you learn this .NET, completely, so that you'll get a confidence. Whatever the problem I get, I'll be able to develop a application. Now, if you don't know how to develop a web page, then using ASP.NET, it is very easy to develop a web page. Correct, no, students? Correct, no? Okay. ಇಷ್ಟು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು ನೀವು ಯಾರು ರೆಸ್ಪಾನ್ಸ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. Getting started with the .NET Framework 4.0. Yes, students, in this module, this is very much important. Here, this is the architecture of .NET Framework 4.0. And here, I have one more architecture. That is, this architecture is .NET Framework 4.5. In the exam, if you get this question, you please don't write this, students, write this only, because according to the syllabus, for our syllabus, we have .NET Framework 4.0, not 4.5. Maybe the components which are using in this framework, maybe the concepts which we are using in this framework, .NET Framework 4.5 and 4.0, both may be same, but you have to answer, you have to write answer for this. And this is also one diagram for .NET Framework 4.0. This is also for 4.0, and this is also for 4.0, and this is for 4.5. Here, some of the components are missing, so better you follow this. Better you follow this diagram. Yes, students, in this .NET Framework 4.0, here it has divided into 3 layers. The base, you can see the base is CLR. This .NET Framework stands on this common language runtime. Next is a core. In the core, we have a parallel extension, managed extensibility framework. LINQ is nothing but the database, languages, different languages, dynamic language runtime, and base class library. This is the next level, and this is the top level. In the top level, we have interfaces. Interfaces means the GUIs which we create. So here we have forms. WinForm. WinForm is nothing but window form, and window presentation foundation. In the window presentation foundation, we have seen that using a window presentation foundation, you can create the main job of this window presentation foundation is to make the GUI attractive. Here you can this window WPF is used to display 2-dimensional images, 3-dimensional images, and audio and video effects in details. When I explain this in detail, that time I'll explain once again. And here you can see ASP.NET web form and dynamic data. See, this all comes in the user interface. The user interface is nothing but a form. And services. What type of services the .NET Framework is going to do? It is going to provide, that is window communication. Communication means what is the general meaning of communication? Talking with each other. So when we don't talk with, see now what I'm communicating with my students. If I start my class, if I don't talk, If I don't communicate, then that waste of taking class. Simply I just switch on my laptop, and if I sit just in front of my laptop, even my students, if they just sit in front of laptop, if they are also not asking anything, and if I am also not talking anything, then there is no communication. There is no communication, then that is waste of time. If we exchange some information, then that is a communication. See, sometimes what happens, just I only keep on asking, I ask so many times, do you have any doubts, do you have any problem, then nobody will respond. That is one way communication. One way communication is also not so effective. So here, why this window communication foundation is required is because there will be n number of threads will be running. If a first thread is running, if it takes more time to run, then the second thread will be waiting, so that the second thread should get a message that first thread is still running. So without this communication foundation, we'll not get, they don't get communicate each other. So for the communication purpose, this window communication foundation is used. And the services velocity. Velocity is nothing but the speed. And window workflow foundation, workflow execution of the program. And the data access, ADO.NET, LINQ, and entity framework. These are all the data access and the core and common language runtime. This CLR is a base for this .NET framework. Yes, students, this .NET framework is very important. Very important. You by heart this. See, no need to by heart also. Just interfaces, services, data access. See, just you remember what are the facilities the .NET Framework 4.0 is going to provide. It is used for user interfaces. It provides different services and data access. That is the first top layer. And the middle layer is core. In the core, parallel extension, managed extensibility framework, LINQ, languages and dynamic language, runtime and base class library. So base class library means it contains the library files, all the libraries, built-in library files. And the last layer or the bottom layer is common language runtime. Okay, students, these are all this is a .NET Framework 4.0. And wait. This is window presentation foundation. This is one of the very important component of .NET Framework, students. And here you can see the diagram. See here, this is a top layer, that is what document service it is going to provide, the XPS documents, package services, and the UI services, user interface services, application service, deployment service, controls, layouts, and data binding. And the middle layer is media integration layer. In the media integration, the imaging, you can, yes, we can, in Visual Studio we can include images, no? Imaging, effects, two-dimensional image, three-dimensional image, text, audio, video, animation, and the composition engine. The main services are XAML, accessibility, input and eventing, property system. This is a window presentation foundation. Window communication foundation. Yes, students, this window communication foundation is very important. This window communication foundation has uh, 5 layers. 5 layers. The top one is a application. I'll come from the bottom. So the bottom layer, it has a activation and hosting services. It provides a facility for activation and hosting services, that is executable dynamic link library, WAS, and Windows services. So these are all the facilities given by the bottom layer. Next is messaging. As I told, this communication foundation is used for the communication purpose. The messaging, the HTTP channel, TCP channel, all these channels are going to communicate each other. WS, security, secure message, MSMQ components, text encoder, XML encoder, binary encoder, and the next layer is service runtime, throttling behavior, transaction behavior, parameter filtering, concurrency behavior, metadata behavior, instance behavior. And the next is the contract. The contract is nothing but, what is the general meaning of contract, students? A contract which, or the bonding which is going to happen between two persons, correct? No, if I want to buy some property from owner, I'll make a bond, or I'll make a contract. Or if I am a civil engineer, or if I am a builder, then I make contract with the customer that this is a land in for 50 lakhs of amount in 1 year I'll build G+1 house. So that is my contract. So when we sign for the contract, then in that contract, the rules and regulations will be there. It may be related to the land, it may be related to the material, or it may be related to the time. So like that, it will be there, no? So similarly, here also a contract will be there with the data, and here it will be having the policies and bonding and the services contract, and the last layer is application layer, the top layer. And Windows Workflow Foundation. This Windows Workflow Foundation is divided into 3 layers. Yes, students, diagram is clear, no? Can you see the diagram, students? Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
The model layer, runtime layer, and the hosting layer. This hosting layer, it provides runtime services such as communication, persistence, tracking, timer, transaction, threading. I don't know, in the .NET framework, an n number of threads will be running. So if the transaction, if you take example of ATM machine. Yes, students, this ATM machine, when you go visit to ATM machine, when the everything will be ready only. To provide the service, once you insert a ATM card, then if a PIN number is matching, then if you go the next option is you can go for balance inquiry, or you can go for withdraw. Correct, no? Either you will go for balance inquiry, or you will go for withdraw amount. If the PIN number is not matching, then the next transaction will not happen. Correct, no? The next transaction will, if first a thread is running, which is the first thread that is entering the ATM card into the ATM machine. When that thread terminates, if it is not matching, then it will terminate there itself. If the PIN number is matching, then it will allow next thread to execute. So the system will come to know that the login has done successfully, then the next work has to be done. If it is not done, then if the login is not done successfully, then the transaction is terminated there only. Correct, no? Then once it is, if the PIN number is matching with the database, then it will move to the next phase. The next phase is nothing but the next thread, and it may be balance inquiry, or it may be a withdrawal, if I ask for a withdrawal and I'll give some amount of money, when the system will process and it will give the amount of money. And one more thing, students, to collect the amount from the ATM card, a minimum time is given. If you are not using, if you are not taking the money in that minimum time, then the money will go back. The money will go back and it will be deducted from your account. You will not take in your hand also, and the money will not be there in the back account also. So for everything the time will be set. So the hosting layer will do this tracking, timer, transaction, threading, animal, adding customer service. If you want to add, if we want to add any customer service, so it is like admin. This host layer is like admin. Admin will do all this, all this, no. So runtime layer is executing, tracking, scheduling, managing state in life cycle and activation. This is all done in the runtime layer. And the model layer is a top layer. It has activities. What are the activities? I told just now, I gave the example of ATM machine. What activities it is having? If I take an example of IRCTC website, what activities it is having? Yes, what activities it is having? Booking ticket, checking the train numbers, and checking the timing of the trains, and booking for Tatkal tickets. Yes, so many options it is having. So in IRCTC also, students, when you log in there you should not miss time. Immediately you have to select with next option, to which you, whether you want to book a ticket or you want to check with the train. Otherwise it will if the time limit, if you exceed the time limit, it will log out, and once again you have to log in. Like this, for each application a different timer will be set, a time limit will be given. For some website, if you take 1 hour also to fill application, then it will not log out the time. It will not say that timeout. For some website, in some website they have given a less time. If you are not finishing work in the stipulated time, then it will show as a timeout. So this is window presentation foundation, sorry, window workflow foundation. So this is CLR, the execution of the code. So this I'll do it in the next class, students. I'll stop here. Every day some few topics, if you do revision, then you will get a clear idea.
Ma'am,
ಹೇಳಮ್ಮ.
ma'am, can you show the working of .NET, ma'am?
ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ .NET
Yes, ma'am.
ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ನೆನ್ನೆ ಎಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ ಕ್ವಶನ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಕ್ವಶನ್ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ .NET.
ಹೌದಾ?
ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಅದು ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಅಂತ ನಂಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗ್ಲಿಲ್ಲ. ನಾನು ಆರ್ಕಿಟೆಕ್ಚರ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡೆ.
ಒಂದು ನಿಮಿಷ, ನಾನು ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಕ್ವೆಶನ್.
ಓಕೆ.
ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಡಯಾಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ದ ವರ್ಕಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ .NET ಫ್ರೇಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ .NET ಫ್ರೇಮ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು.
ಓಕೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಆನ್ಸರ್ ಅಟೆಂಡೆನ್ಸ್ ಸ್ಟೂಡೆಂಟ್ಸ್. ಆದಿತ್ಯ, ನನ್ನ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಗೆ ಯಾಕೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ? ಎಕ್ಸಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೀನು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತಂದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಗ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು ನಿನ್ಗೆ. ಒಂದು ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಕರೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗಿ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಒಂದ್ ನಿಮಿಷ ಇರೋ, ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಸ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಅಂತ. 12 labs I have conducted. Out of 12 labs, you attended only 5 labs. In full perfect ಆಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ಯಾ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ? ಎಷ್ಟು ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್? ಮತ್ತೆ why you didn't attend the lab? ಏನ್ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಮ್ಗೆ ಬೇರೆ ಕೆಲಸ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಸುಮ್ಮನೆ ನಿಮ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರೀನ್ ಶೇರ್ ಮಾಡಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಏನ್ ಎರರ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಕೇಳ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂತ ಅನ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಇದು ಆನ್ಲೈನ್ ಮೋಡ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇದೆ, ಎರರ್ಸ್ ಡಿಬಗ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಾವ್ ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ ನೀವು ಆರಾಮಾಗಿ ಮನೇಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಿ. Out of 12 labs, you attend only 5 labs. Ajay? Ajay? Amit? Antima? Antima? Apurva?
Ma'am.
Ashwini?
Yes, ma'am.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಯಾವ ಕ್ಲಾಸಿಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಮ್ಮ?
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಹುಷಾರಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಸೊ
ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಗೂ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಾ?
ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ವೇರ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಮ್ ಆಗಿತ್ತು, ಸೊ ಸರ್ವಿಸ್ ಸೆಂಟರ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಇವತ್ತು ತಗೋಬೇಕು.
ಸರಿ. ಬಿಂದು? ಬಿಂದು? ನಿನ್ ಫೋನ್ ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದಾಳೆ ಅನ್ಸುತ್ತೆ. ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ದೇರ್ ಬಟ್ ಶಿ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಆನ್ಸರಿಂಗ್. ದಿವ್ಯೇಶ್?
Ma'am, I'm there, ma'am.
ಹಾ, ಅದೇ ಐ ನೋ ಯು ಆರ್ ದೇರ್. ಗೌರೀಶ್?
ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ನಮ್ ನೆಟ್ವರ್ಕ್ ಕೇಳಿಸ್ತಾನೆ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಅದೇನು.
ಸರಿಮ್ಮ, ಆಯ್ತು. ಗೌತಮಿ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಗುಣಶೇಖರ್?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಹರಿಣಿ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಸೂರ್ಯ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ನಯನ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ನಿನ್ನೆ ಕ್ಲಾಸ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ ನಯನ. ನಜ್ಮಾ? ನಜ್ಮಾ is not there. ನಿಧಿ? ನಿಧಿ? ಪ್ರದೀಪ್?
ಎಸ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ನಿನ್ನ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಬಂದಿದ್ಯಾ ನಿನ್ನೆ?
ಇಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಯಾಕೆ? ಯಾವಾಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀಯಾ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ? ಮಾಡಾಯ್ತಾ?
ಇನ್ನಿಲ್ಲ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್, ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಪ್ರೀತಿ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ರಾಜೇಶ್? Sahadev?
Present, ma'am.
Did you attend yesterday's lab?
No, ma'am.
Why? Executed all the programs?
I will do, ma'am. Today or tomorrow we will do, ma'am.
Saket? Saket? Seema?
Yes, ma'am.
Sinchana? Spurti? Spurti? Shashank? ವರ್ಷ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಯಾಕಮ್ಮ ನಿನ್ನ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ?
ಮ್ಯಾಮ್ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಯಶಸ್ವಿನಿ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಅಮೃತ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಅನುಷಾ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಅಪೂರ್ವ?
Present, ma'am.
ಸಾಯಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ್? ಸಾಯಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಾರ್ಥ್? ಚೇತನ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಕಾವ್ಯ? ಕಾವ್ಯ? ಮಧು?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Manish?
Present, ma'am.
Why you didn't attend yesterday's lab?
I did not have the data left, ma'am, for lab.
Why from morning? How many class you had?
Ma'am, I had an interview, ma'am.
Sarfaraz?
Present, ma'am.
Why Sarfaraz?
What, ma'am?
Why you didn't attend yesterday's lab?
Ma'am, yesterday I had some personal work, ma'am.
You could have attended lab, no, at least for 1 hour.
No,
Murugesh?
ma'am, I didn't have time, ma'am, yesterday.
Murugesh?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಪರೇಶ್?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
ಯಾಕಪ್ಪ ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ಗೆ ಬಂದಿಲ್ಲ? ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರಾಮ್ಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ಯಾ?
ಎಕ್ಸಿಕ್ಯೂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್. ನೆನ್ನೆ ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಹೋಗಿದ್ದೆ, ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ.
ಪೂಜಾ?
ಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ ಮ್ಯಾಮ್.
Prashant,
Present, ma'am.
Pratibha.
Present, ma'am.
Right. Pratik. Pratik.
Present, ma'am. I'm present.
Uh-huh. Sadhana. What happened to this girl? Again, she is not attending. Shashank.
Present, ma'am.
Shraddha.
Present, ma'am.
Shraddha, ಯಾಕಮ್ಮ ನೆನ್ನೆ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಲ್ಯಾಬು? ಶಶಾಂಕ್, ಯು ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಡಿಂಟ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್. ವೈ? ಏನ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಿ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡಿ ಮುಗಿಸ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀರಾ? ಶ್ರೀಧರ್.
Present, ma'am.
ತನುಜ್.
Present, ma'am.
ಲ್ಯಾಬ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೆ ನೆನ್ನೆ?
Yes, ma'am.
Did you attend lab yesterday?
Yes, ma'am.
Huh?
Attend ಆಗಿದ್ದೆ, ma'am.
Tejaswini.
Present, ma'am.
Yesterday absent. Ummehani.
Present, ma'am.
ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತೀರಾ? ಹಾಸ್ಪಿಟಲ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ಮೇಲೆ ನಾವು ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡಂಗೇ ಇಲ್ಲ. ಆಶೀಶ್. ಆಶೀಶ್. ವಿದ್ಯಾ. ವಿದ್ಯಾ.
Present, ma'am.
ವಿಶಾಲ್.
Present, ma'am.
Vidya, did you attend yesterday's lab?
No, ma'am.
Why?
Yesterday I was not well, ma'am. I was out.
See, again I'm telling, part B program, for part B program have some seriousness, because if you execute only part A program, then don't think you are going to pass. Part B programs are also very much important. Okay, students.
Attendance.
Yes?
With ma'am, attendance, ma'am.
I marked. Okay, students.